welcome to episode 40 of the Mighty Movie Pod. I'm Ryan.
I'm Josh.
And we are here today on this momentous occasion. It's cinematic history in the making. The biggest movie since Twister.
Okay.
Yeah. We're talking Avengers 3, Infinity War, Part 1. Spoilers?
Spoilers? For anybody that thought this was going to be a standalone?
Have you seen Fellowship of the Ring?
Are you asking me?
Did you think that they were going to throw the ring in the fire? Well, don't go into this movie thinking they're going to throw the ring in the fire.
They got a lot more walking to do.
They have so much more walking. 2 more movies worth. Nah, it'll be 1.
No, it'll be 1.
We're talking about, well, I already said. But yeah, we're talking Infinity War. And I'm going to go right off the bat and spoilerino.
Oh, yes. Spoilers abound.
With a movie.
It's hard to talk about this without getting into the details and the plot elements. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't listen to us.
Yeah.
If you have seen it and you don't care, go right ahead.
Yeah, with a movie like this, I'm not even going to bother trying to do a little section spoiler-free because you know if you're going to see it or not.
Yeah.
So come here for, I don't know, opinion validation and what have you, or friend simulator. We talk about this shit all the time. I'm not going to go through it again, so spoilers abound. Be warned. Josh, we'll start with you. I wanted to have a section. I was planning on starting this without talking to you at all about it.
Oh.
And I was going to start with a little section to myself, but now that I know what you think about the movie, go ahead and tell me what you thought about Avengers 3 Infinity War Part 1 by Disney.
And Marvel.
And Marvel. And Fox.
No, Disney is Fox.
Oh, no. I don't think that's gone through yet. It's still speculation, right?
Yeah. And they don't own all of Fox, right? It's just the certain specific properties.
I don't want to speak to that. I do not know.
Okay.
So what did you think of the movie?
What did I think of the movie? Man, I was not ready for that at all. I've been down.
Yeah.
Been feeling the fatigue hard, man.
Yeah, for sure. And there's another Marvel movie in theaters
July.
at the same time as this movie.
Oh, yeah. Black Panther is still in theaters.
Yeah.
And there's another one coming in July. It's, Ant-Man Wasp?
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah. I was feeling the fatigue hard, man, and I was honestly not really looking forward to sitting through this movie, especially when I knew the runtime was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I was just like, 2.5 hours of punching. Here we go.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was a bit revitalized by it. It still follows the same superhero formula.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some welcome breaks in it. I wasn't expecting to get as much story for our main villain. And I knew we kind of had to, given that we've done really nothing for him yet. But I didn't think that I would be able to see his side of the argument.
Yeah.
And understand what he's doing. Brolin does a fantastic job of lending some gravitas to a giant purple cartoon.
It's weird that the big CGI cartoon man feels the most human
out of all of the villains
since Loki, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's very fucking weird. Mm-hmm. I was weirded out by it for a while. Because he's so powerful, but also is just willing to sit there and just chit chat about how fucking crazy he is.
Oh yeah,
but not in a maniacal
and try to get
way.
People. No, he tries to get. He believes in what he's doing.
His followers are fuckheads. He seems like a crazy man.
Oh, he's a crazy man, and he's almost like that crazy holy priest warrior that you'd see in one of those old Crusader films and stuff like that. He believes in what he's doing.
Yeah.
To the point where he's even trying to convince other people that what he's doing is a good thing. And he doesn't understand that they don't see what he's doing.
I think convince is the wrong word because he has no reason
Share his vision.
Yeah, he's going to do it no matter what.
Oh, yeah, no.
And he doesn't need any help.
Yeah, no, he does not need any fucking help. So, because the help he has was little.
But explain himself just for shits and giggles, I guess.
I thought the beginning is great. The
very beginning of
with where we pick up immediately from Thor Ragnarok.
In my head, I was like, this is how we're starting the movie. Mm-hmm. This movie's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah. No, it blew my mind. You get that distress call going out.
Yeah, which was cool. I could hear 3 words of it. So
yeah, well, yeah, we'll get into your unfortunate viewing experience in a minute here. I feel that sucks the worst, dude. But no, I really liked the beginning, dude. It just hits you right in the gut with tragedy. Yeah. I mean, just the loss of the Asgardians immediately. Yeah. Because they've had so much taken from them already, and now this happens.
And on top of the weight of it, as far as the spectacle and the fights, the movies are known for, you usually build up to a Hulk fight.
Oh yeah, no, they hit you right at the gate with the big green man. Like that was really cool.
The only time in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. But no, dude, I was blown away from it, and then
plot happens.
Yeah, plot happens. Loki got me, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny because I was just like, well, he gives him the Tesseract and continues to be a fuck.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And then, nope. He tries to make his go for it, dude.
And I love that. It was finally, like, it made me love Thor Ragnarok even more.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, like, Loki finally... We didn't just end with Loki being a dick. Mm-hmm. Like, Loki finally, it was a real turn you saw in Thor Ragnarok.
Loki got his very brief redemption arc because he tried. He tried as best as Loki could. He had all his tricks and everything, and it mattered to nothing. And I like that they touch on the fact that Thanos knows Loki.
Oh, yeah.
And Loki has failed him before. Mm-hmm. So why should he rely on you now? Why should I rely on you now? I thought that was brilliant. And I loved that his last words to him. You will never be a god. And then he fucking snaps his neck. Like we said, spoilers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, man, that one got me. And then after that, when we go to Earth, it's a little rough, little rocky, but it picks up. There was no other way to really get into it. Otherwise, I think you'd have like another half hour of setup.
Yeah.
And I think they came through it as best as they possibly could.
I'll say this: I watched Avengers yesterday, and I feel like
Avengers hits the ground running.
I was going to say I feel like they watched that movie just to try to like get an idea of how to handle this.
Possibly how to pace
it. It's on a grander scale, but now you have like established groups, whereas in the first one you had established characters, and I think they took a little bit of the elements of that movie
and tried to play it into a bigger scale. Yeah. No, I agree, dude. Because both movies hit the ground running with teams that you know, and they mix it up in the movie, and I liked that the way they mixed it up. I would love to see Thor become a permanent team member with the Guardians. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved Strange in this movie.
Yeah.
Way more than I did in his own movie. He was much more Dr. Strange to me in this film than he was in Doctor Strange.
It's the curse of
origin
stories. Yeah. Like Black Panther's the only man to get away from it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And oddly enough, I enjoyed Black Panther and Civil War more than I did in his own movie.
Definitely. And that's what I mean by that.
But no, I love Tony and his interaction. Like I've seen people talk about how they're going to get all these arrogant, goofy leaders to work together, and they did it perfectly because they played to the characters well. Pete's still a moron. Yeah. He's always going to be a moron that just kind of flies by the seat of his pants, and it works. Thor and him button heads was comedic and great, and it was just two dummies
Mm-hmm.
trying to out-dummy each other. But Tony and Strange was the dynamic that I wanted to see, and I'm glad that they paired Iron Man and Doctor Strange together.
Yeah.
I thought it was great because, Tony and Steve butt heads, Iron Man and Cap butt heads, but Cap can't shut Tony down.
Yeah.
And because he won't, because he's a better person.
Well, and you also get a little bit of that, and I'm overreaching my knowledge of comic books here, but you got what I feel everybody was talking about with Iron Man 3, where you have this Mandarin Tony and their opposites.
Magic and science.
You get some of that butting heads of he's like a man of this and that, and Tony's like, I'm a cool guy who has money.
Yeah, well, what does he say when he asks that, who is your master? He's like, what do you want me to say, Jesus?
Jesus.
Yeah, what do you want me to say, Jesus?
That was good.
Yeah, that was really funny. No, but I thought Strange was amazing, dude. Just Tony starts mouthing off and Strange has no time. It's not even a quip that he hits him with. It's just a cutting barb to shut him up. He has no patience for this man. He's going to protect the universe and the time stone, and you're either on board or you get out of the way. Like when he tells him, I will sacrifice you, the kid, everyone. Yeah. If it comes to that.
Yeah. And I know
I thought it was great.
You had some problems with Bruce, but I want to talk about the comedy in this film is
better time.
Is a little bit better than even in the Guardians movies.
Yeah,
because they're not.
Drax is funny
because
than he's ever been.
How long have you been standing there? One hour.
I've mastered the art of standing so still that you cannot see me. I can see you. You're eating snacks. Damn, I thought I was really invisible.
Yeah, because it wasn't this really dark or deep emotional scene. It was just two people sharing a moment. Yeah. And it was interrupted. Yeah. And it's not like I'm having a very emotional time and now I'm going to tell a poop joke.
It's yeah, exactly. No, it was classic. It reminded me a lot of classic Firefly. Yeah. Where there'd be some real weight to, and then Jane's standing there or something, and it's just you guys are wieners or whatever.
Yeah. Classic Jane.
Classic Jane.
Always calling people wieners.
Everybody called everybody a wiener. I seen
you can't stop him from saying it.
You can't stop him. No, it's my problem with Bruce was he doesn't seem to serve a purpose in the movie. They took Hulk from him, which I thought was brilliant. Because I was like, Hulk, he's struggling through the movie to turn back into the Hulk after the beginning of the movie because Hulk gets his ass handed to him by first the big guy. Yeah. And then Thanos just beats the shit out of him. And I really believe that Hulk for the first time is experiencing fear, so he doesn't want to come back out. He ducks out,
yeah. And that's the problem is you had the Hulk and he served his purpose, and then Bruce was literally a vessel for starting the plot. For starting
the movie, yeah.
And then they're like, well, he's there.
Yeah. And
he'll keep being there.
He didn't seem to have anything to contribute aside from freaking out and saying Thanos is coming and then just being wacky and over the top. He was too much. Yeah. I think that he's the only part of the humor that was too much for me. Mm-hmm. They needed to dial him back. I don't know if Mark Ruffalo's just shooting from the hip and ad-libbing the whole time.
Well, especially because it's not like they had him on set, because a lot of his wackiness was on a green screen. Yeah, because he's inside.
That was one effect that I really didn't like. It was his head inside the Hulkbuster armor, and they used his real head inside the armor, and I was like, that looks gross and wrong. That doesn't work. Thanos, I thought they did a decent job with the CG. Yes. Sometimes they seemed to have trouble nailing down his face because it seemed to change. Like when he was talking, it looked more natural, but when he was at rest, it seemed to look different in different shots, and it was a little odd. And then when you're looking straight on at Thanos, he looks kind of like a cheap action figure. Like his arms don't look like they're in the right position.
It's the weird proportions.
It's the weird proportions, because they had to blow him so much bigger.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. I liked those shots of like Gamora walking around him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's so small compared to him. That was really cool.
Like as far as villains go, man, fucking.
I think Thanos is one of the best.
I'm just like they make the joke where he's just like, oh, he's the purple fucking space god who just gonna destroy everything.
Yeah.
But they have scenes like the flashback of him and Gamora.
The flashback of him and Gamora really got me, dude.
And
I thought that was really cool.
That's when they try to make you be like, oh, that's sweet. Wait a minute, this guy's a fucking...
Yeah, this guy's a...
And then it's juxtaposed with the people behind him.
When she goes to turn and look, when they're all screaming, he's like, no. And he brings her face back around with his giant index finger.
Yeah. But, I mean, and like, they try to make you be like, no, he's not that bad. He's like, no, it's fair game. It's a 50-50 shot, rich, poor, it doesn't matter.
It's okay. I presented this plan. They all called me mad, but I presented it was going to be fair. Rich, poor, there was no discrimination. And I was just like, yeah, he's kind of got a point.
Yeah, I'm just like, shit, man.
Yeah.
What's the only other fucking villain who had that same fucking plan?
One could argue Robert Redford in Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They already did this.
He kind of has he kind of has the Hydra feel to him, but his argument seems to come from a bigger place.
The troublemakers. It'll be peace because I'll get rid of people that I don't like. Well, and he's the one because Thanos is indiscriminate, and he was like, I choose.
Yeah, I pick and choose. I decide who lives or dies. Yeah, and Thanos decides who lives or dies, but he's gonna be more selective, and he's gonna be less selective and more random about it, and more fair.
Just half.
And
he's in charge of making that decision, but he just goes half gone. Boom.
Yeah, it's just his thought.
Yeah.
Well, and also his argument isn't so much, come on, bro, Hydra's sweet.
Oh, dude, bro, Hydra's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Like that, like, I know I'm down in the dumps, and my plan's going to shit, but I'll just tell Fury, like, dude, Hydra's dope, bro. Yeah. And he'll be like, oh.
No, he was a true believer in his own cause, more so than I think, I can't remember his fucking name in that movie now. For the life of me.
Robbie Reds.
Yeah, Robbie Reds. He likes it. Let me see here. I thought Spider-Man had a decent showing.
Yeah, it was all right.
I really liked Spider-Man a lot in that movie. I liked him, again, much more than I did in his own movie. He was really cool. I loved that bit where he tells his stupid friend Ned.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I need a distraction. And Ned just genuinely freaks
like,
out.
We're gonna die!
We're gonna die! And then that cool shot of him on the side of the bus pulling the mask over his head, and I was like, all these taxi cabs have seen you, you know. I love
But again, who's he?
Yeah, well, and it's
the whole Flash thing.
Yeah.
I finally find out who the Flash is. I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines from the Justice League cartoon. But no, but it's always funny to me, like how his secret identity is so important to him, but yet I believe that everyone in New York has seen Pete change clothes.
Probably.
It's always funny to me. But yeah, I've always loved that look, like when they do it in the comics where he's just wearing the mask and he's flying around in regular clothes. Like, it just looks cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I liked that Pete was... He's doing that Spider-Man thing where I have to do this. Tony's begging him to get off that ship as it goes up into the atmosphere. He's like, you're going too high. You're going to run out of air. And he's like, no, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden he realizes he's going to die.
Yeah.
And he falls off the ship. And it's, Tony saves him and he gets that fucking incredible suit. I thought the iron suit was super cool. I was glad to see that made an appearance and that it had 4 legs instead of 3 like it did in the comics, which never made sense to me.
Yeah.
It's more structurally sound with 4 legs, which is weird because the tripods.
Yeah, but it's
anyway. I thought the magic guy, the Ma, was that his name?
I forget, but yeah, he out of the cronies, I'll call them.
Yeah.
Fucking he was the one guy that I'm just like, this guy means fucking business, and
he is dedicated.
He could be his own villain in a movie.
Oh yeah.
He would die and nobody would care anymore. But,
yeah. Well, because he did.
Yeah, but he did. He got sucked out.
I liked watching. I liked him and Strange trying to outmagic each other. That was really cool.
He's like, oh, I do dark magic, and you're some asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I love everything that Strange does, and then Tony looks at him and he's just like, yeah, no, it's pretty dope. Like when he blows the smoke out of the alleyway.
Yeah.
And he just turns around and looks at him. He's like,
"What can I say?
What about it? No worries. It's a simple wind spell. I learned it in first grade.
Learned it way back when."
I loved the argument that him and his boy are having as they're walking down the steps. What do you mean you don't have any money?
Yeah.
I surrendered all objects.
Yeah, all physical things. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to the deli. Oh wait, I think I have 200 rupees. What does that mean? What does that equal? About $1.50.
Yeah.
I love one of my favorite fight scenes was Strange opening portals for Spidey.
Yeah.
And he's
magic.
Just magic
again.
Magic with a kick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Magic with a kick. Yeah.
That's
all
so
good.
funny.
That's like that, and like that's part of the problem. Like
that's good teamwork within the Marvel universe.
Yeah, the movie had 2 or 3 things going on. You had Thanos not fucking with them and doing his own thing with Gamora. You had the Guardians, half the Guardians and Thor, half of the Guardians and fucking Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then you had Earth with Vision and them dealing with that.
That was the weakest.
When that's winding up, it seems very interesting.
Yeah.
And then when they're like, now it's happening, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, like Panther doesn't do anything really but walk around and say things.
Yeah.
And then the fight happens. And Cap, like, I was really disappointed in how underutilized Cap was. Because Cap is he was the other dude for the longest time. It was him and Tony.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, he's just kind of there. He does have one really cool line that I really liked was when Thunderbolt's giving him shit for being there. And he's just like, no, people need help. That I'm through asking for permission. Yeah. And I was like, well, technically you never did, but I like that line.
Yeah.
No, I
and that's what I mean. I'm just like, okay, like they're trying to think of a plan.
I felt like for as important as Vision was, that storyline is kind of flat compared to Thor's epic quest to rebuild the hammer and Tony and Strange taking the fight directly to Thanos.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's kind of different about this in the other Avengers is there's no like, we understand the threat and we need to make a plan and it's a ticking clock and this and that. It was more like, this is happening and whoever's around, we need to take care of this. And it doesn't leave that like, why don't they just call this guy or call that guy? Mm-hmm. Like everybody's dealing with something. Yeah. And then when it's like back on Earth, they have a little bit of time. It kind of,
they don't know what the larger picture is.
Yeah, a little formulaic. And then it was a little underwhelming because then they were just met with a challenge that had no hope of winning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
I had one huge gripe with that fight in Wakanda. Who the fuck are all those jets we just saw in Black Panther? Like, how come they're not sitting at the top of that gap just mowing those things down as they come through? What's going on?
Where's fucking Bilbo?
Yeah, where's Bilbo?
He was a great ace pilot.
Yeah, like I was like, where are all the jets? And then they show up, but only after they've won. And I was like, this is terrible. Why weren't you here earlier?
Maybe it's because they were keeping the dome up. I don't fucking know.
It's one of the, see, that was one thing where I was like, oh, you can be written off. Like maybe it's because they're within the dome, but then they opened the dome.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then I felt like Thor took a little too long to show up to fight Thanos. I was just like, fucking stop having fun and come handle the problem.
Well, yeah, but I actually had kind of forgotten for a bit, so that was intentional.
Yeah, see, it seemed like
because then all of a sudden it was like motherfucker, and the dude in my theater went one shot. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was pretty dope.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was really cool, but it was just like it was one of those things where I was like, how come Thor's not here? Where is Thor? Where is Thor? Oh, because the plot. You know, and it seemed like it was...
Because, Josh, here we go.
Oh.
He is the only man and this is a this is a cinema sin style fucking gripe with every single Marvel movie. They all have fucking comms that you can't see and just connect to each other all the time.
I was gonna say, did you notice that Cap has a visible earpiece?
Yes, I know. And when I was just watching Avengers last night, that shot. You can close it?
Can you close it? Yeah,
anyway, and there's a line in the movie that made me throw my arms into the air and become furious.
Speaking of the first movie.
They're all going, the Guardians and Thor are all going over all the people they've lost. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, it was Thor specifically with Rocket.
With Rocket.
Yeah.
Don't you have don't you have this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, they did. Like, kind of comically talking about what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like, well, best friend? He's like, stabbed through the heart with the spear. And I was so, because he's talking about Coulson, son of Cole.
Yeah.
And
the son of Cole.
Furious because Coulson's not dead, first of all.
Yeah.
Lady Sif shows up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He asks her not to tell Thor, but then in Age of Ultron, Cap says Coulson's intel was right.
When they attacked the Hydra base, yeah.
And we're like, well, fucking Thor must just not have comms because he obviously didn't hear that, picking it apart. Well, there you go. Oh, the reason he doesn't show up with Thanos because he doesn't know, because he doesn't have comms. Because everybody on Earth just all has earpieces you can't see that can all talk to each other.
Except for the god.
Anyway.
No, but like that part upsets me because it's what was, and the fact that they just
Coulson was the thread.
Coulson
and he was the driving force of the last part of the Avengers. He got the Avengers together.
Yeah, he built Cap's first terrible suit.
And the fact that like Thor has lost everything. And he also is like, oh yeah, and my friend's dead. And I'm like, he's not dead. Mm-hmm. Somebody tell this man.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
If they do not have a line of just like, because they're not going to bring Coulson in because there's bad blood between ABC and all that bullshit.
Which is odd considering that ABC is owned. But,
yeah. Fucking.
The TV guys
Coulson's not going to show back up. But like, have somebody be like, son of Cole. Son of Cole lives.
Yeah, the son of Cole lives. That would be dope.
Yeah.
I did love that little joke between Steve and Thor when they first see each other for the first time in years. And he's just like, I see you. You've copied my beard. You've copied my facial hair. And he's like, it's good to have you back. You know, and it was super great. Oh, and that this is my friend, Tree. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. Oh, that's such a Cap line, like corny Cap line. Good. It's so great.
So good.
I love that Thor refers to them as Tree and Rabbit.
Tree and Rabbit.
Which I still don't know why he doesn't know that's a raccoon.
Yeah. His name's Rocket.
He doesn't
call himself Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, no.
So
yeah, but still, like he should like it doesn't look like a rabbit.
If you remember in Avengers, Coulson refers to
the Billschnipe,
some sort of animal, and he goes, "I don't know what that is." He's like, like the Billschnipe. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know raccoons, but apparently there are rabbits because they eat them. I think.
Yes, lots of rabbits. No trash pandas. I love the weight of Strange's responsibility felt much more heavy than it did in the Doctor Strange movie. Like I don't know, maybe it's because he's had time to come into his own as apart from that, and so 2 years have taken place.
Yeah, they're wishy-washy on the timelines, I'm guessing.
Well, they say 2 years in this movie, so I imagine it's been a full 2 years.
Because it's like, when we watch fucking Ant-Man and Wasp, I guarantee it's pre these events.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah. I have a feeling that will end with people disappearing.
With Wasp disappearing?
Yeah, yeah. Or Scott. It would be crazy if it was Scott and you got Wasp. Yeah. That'd be really cool. Speaking of that, I was amazed at who disappeared in the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I said, they're doing that fight, that big battle, and Panther's just getting globbed with those guys. And I'm like, stop it. This has no weight to it. They're not going to fucking kill Panther after just introducing him in his own movie, highest grossing film. They're not going to be fucking stupid like that. And then what happens? He checks on his friend and then turns to dust. And I was like, what? And then all of the Guardians except for fucking Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket.
Oh, dude, when Groot disappears and Rocket, no. And I was just like, no, oh God, you have to watch him die again.
I know, right?
I thought Cap was going to go. I really thought Cap was going to fade out. I think it's funny. I think it's reduced, for the most part, to the original Avengers.
Yeah. Which
I'm wondering what they're going to be doing with them in the second movie. Pete's disappearance was, I know it was supposed to be emotional, but it just felt ridiculous given that everybody just kind of goes, whoosh, Tony. And then
crumbles immediately.
Yeah, and then Pete has this whole exaggerated, don't let me die.
Death scene, yeah. It was a death scene where everybody else was like, what's happening? Dust.
Yeah.
And his was an exaggerated death scene. Yeah, and in the theater as well, people were like, no. Yeah. And I was like, you just watched like 8 other people die.
Yeah, you watched like 9 other people die. Why is he so much more important?
Yeah.
Because he's a kid.
He's Spider-Man.
He's Spider-Man, and everybody loves Spider-Man, dude.
I'm half on your side on that one.
Oh, dude, it just felt a little. No,
but I did bring it up even before we.
Yeah, it felt a little. It felt a little like, how come nobody got this?
Yeah.
Like how come like Bucky and Steve like those, and he just goes Steve, and he's the first one to go. God, dude, I loved the look of resignation to what he is when Panther brings him a new arm.
Yeah.
And he just has this like, and then he goes, what's the job? You know, like he knows they wouldn't have come to him if they didn't need him.
Yeah. And
I thought that was really cool that he still steps up. Like, as damaged as Bucky is, he's still out. Like, dude, I love Bucky. So, like,
I dig him as well.
I loved that part, dude, when him and Rocket are just back to back. Blowing these dudes away, and Rocket's just laughing, and fucking Bucky picks him up by the scruff of his neck and starts swinging him and his own machine gun around, and Rocket's just along for the ride, having the best time ever.
Yeah.
Rocket is great in this movie.
Rocket was much better in this movie than he was in Guardians 2.
He had a better arc, and he got to be an adult. Yeah. And I feel almost like it's the evolution. Like, he's got the arc that he was supposed to have in Guardians. Like, he's come to be a person. Like, he's still kind of a dirtbag, but he's a person, because he goes up, he notices that Thor is in Trubs, he's having probs, and he goes back there and talks to him.
Yeah.
I love Teen Groot. Mm-hmm. He is hysterical. I am Groot. Watch your mouth. Hey.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I wonder if do you think Teen Groot is still voiced by Vin Diesel, and they've just
it definitely is.
Is it still?
It was in the credits, yeah.
Was it in the credits?
Yep.
Which leads me to another thing that 2 hours into this movie, I had to pee in the worst possible way. So I get up to go to the bathroom.
There are 2 big reveals in this movie.
Yes, there's 2 big reveals. We'll get to the next one, which I thought was really fun. This one just confirmed a theory that I have been touting for 7 years.
It doesn't do a lot for the problem, but people have been talking about Marvel's villain problem.
Basically, if you're not Loki, you're dead.
You die. Yeah.
And sure enough, I go to a bathroom. I take the longest pee I've ever taken in my life. I return just to see the tail end of Red Skull.
Red fucking Skull.
Red Skull talking to Thanos. Yeah. And I was so pissed that I chose that time.
Yeah.
But it was make or break, man. I didn't want to wet myself in a theater. I'm a 36-year-old man. I'm a 36-year-old man.
Real fan would have wet himself. Real fan would have been wearing a fucking catheter.
A real man would have worn a diaper. Yeah. Wear your Depends. No, but you saw that scene and you said it was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That scene was good. Fucking, I hate to have to describe it to you. I feel you can't spoil something for a movie somebody's seen. Um, but yeah, fucking.
All I know, dude, I'm gonna see this again.
I was talking about this in the car on the way back. I've seen 2 Marvel movies twice in the theater.
Yeah,
only 2. Avengers.
Yep.
Which I believe in the UK it's Avengers Assemble.
Which I think is a great name. They should have called it
Avengers Assemble and Thor Ragnarok. Those are the only 2 Marvel movies I've seen twice in theaters. And I
saw Winter Soldier twice in theaters. I saw Avengers like 4 times.
Yeah, shit. And
because I went with you
once. Yeah,
I went with you once.
First time.
I think we
may have seen it again.
I think you and I went and saw it. Yeah. I went with you and Brittany once, and then I saw it with just you one day on a fucking
I think
whatever.
Just random.
Yeah, and then I saw it. I went alone. Another time.
Yeah, fucking. I'm definitely gonna go check this one out again. It's crazy because it's like the fatigue. Oh wow, we're finally to this thing we've been fucking building up for. Who cares? Jeez, get it over with. And it's just like, boom.
You know what's funny, dude?
And it's so revitalizing and so just like, you know what? I talk shit, but they pulled it off.
They did.
But then think about it a bit.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, but now I'm invested, and I have 2 years to get an ending to this story.
Is it going to be another 2 years, or do you think it's going to be next year?
They'll probably do a 1-year turnaround because from what I understand, they probably shot both of them already.
I was gathering from everything that I've seen that they did both at the same time, or at least back to back. Like they took a brief hiatus, and then did the next one. Well, because God, Spider-Man is slated for next year. I think Homecoming 2.
Yeah.
Homecoming 2.
They say everybody laughs when they say that, but it's like, that's the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
Yeah,
there you go.
The next Spider-Man movie. Ooh, excuse me. Fuck, where was I? Oh yeah, no, dude, it was funny because I thought I would be more angry at the end of this movie. But because I knew about
when it's
before everybody started fading out. This isn't done.
Yeah,
we're not done here. And I really thought I'd be like, God damn it, you did it again, And then it was just like, no, this has more story to tell.
It's like they're exactly. It's like they're baiting me. Like they're like, guess what, motherfucker? You're still gonna be watching these movies a year from now, and I'm like. The cynical side of me is like, you motherfuckers. But the other side of me, I was like, this is a weighty ending, and I like it. And not only that, it's been a long time that I've seen one of these movies, and I wasn't kind of like, all right.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. All right. There were a couple moments in the middle of the movie where I was just like, all right, let's get to the other
there's a couple
part.
Pacing issues.
There's a little bit of drag, but it's not like
all right, let's wrap it up, guys. We get the picture here.
It's not like Age of Ultron where I was just like, come on, get off the fucking farm, guys, or Civil War where I was like, can we get to the fucking airport?
Let's all fight. Yeah.
We're just here to get to the airport. That's the only reason we're here. This one was just like, all right, it's getting late. Oh, whoa, and then like that's the thing. Like you'd be like, this is kind of, and then something huge would happen, and that was the thing where it's just like I told my friend, I was like, I really have to pee, and he's like, oh, go, you're not gonna miss anything.
Yeah,
you're probably not gonna miss anything. And then immediately after he said that, something huge would happen. Yeah, and I was like, this is why I can't fucking leave, Yeah. Dude, there's just so much. The fight on Titan was much better and more impressive to me than any of the other fights in the movie. That's what I'll say about the action.
Story was happening.
I'll say, that was the main story. That's one thing I gotta say about the action scenes is just these are the same dudes that did Winter Soldier, and that's probably the best fight scenes in the movie in the series. And this one was very choppy and very incoherent in a lot of places, and I think it has to do with a lot of CGI being going on.
They were the right directors for
a single movie, a single man.
Yeah, well, they were the right directors.
I don't mean a single movie. I mean like a solo character.
Solo character. Yeah, they're the right directors for like it's in terms of this movie, they're the right directors as far as keeping on track.
Yeah,
I feel like, and I think.
Oh yeah, they really the plot of this all cohesive. There's so many different lines
for dialing in on exactly what they want to do. Do I think that they shine with a movie that's basically a CGI space opera epic? Probably not. I think they should be making fucking. They should make the next Mission Impossible movie. But,
that would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, they blew their wad on the first movie they did, and it's like people like Civil War. It was an okay movie.
This is better than Civil War.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
there's a point to it.
They like I said, you go to Earth, and there's nothing there for them to like bring you in. It was just a swarm of nobody monsters.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot to work with.
I feel like they should have done something a little bit more with the characters in that,
and with no shield and just
yeah. No, it would have been interesting because they try to again. This is.
I don't think that they have the creativity of being like, let's take a CGI scene and like let's think of a way to do it, of how like they think of how they're going to do it practically.
Yeah.
And that's why you get an amazing freeway or overpass or whatever you want to call it scene.
Assault on the Lemurian Star.
Yeah, in the car chase in the beginning and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like and then they go to this, and as far as like moving the plot forward and character stuff, they're doing good, and then it's like, well, hand it off to the guys who do all the CGI shit.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. It's just, I feel like some of the time with the Earth characters, we could have spent doing more with the relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision, which, like, I mean, they're together in the comics, so it made sense that they were together in the movie, but it just felt like Cap's eventual romance with Sharon, and that they dropped in Civil War, and the Black Widow and Hulk in Age of Ultron, where they just threw a romance in, but didn't bother to try to make it feel real or believable. I needed a little bit more humanity. Although I will say that our complaint of Civil War, where nobody sat down and tried to talk to each other, everybody sits down and tries to talk to each other in this movie.
Yep.
There is much more talking than there is action, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought this time around.
But it's like, dude, not to mention like
everything between Thanos and Gamora is amazing.
I'm going to completely go ahead and contradict what I was just fucking saying. In terms of the fighting action scenes, yeah, they're a little choppy and a little just kind of play by, paint by numbers. But in showing what Thanos is capable of once he starts getting more stones.
Oh yeah,
they're like, dude, when it's sweeping across the screen and shit's changing, and they did an amazing job of me being like, whoa.
He makes that black hole and throws it at Strange, and Strange turns it into butterflies. The fight between him and Strange is the best fight in the whole fucking movie.
And like, Thanos is also kind of goofy because he's just like, bubble gun, fuck it.
Oh god, that
cracked
me up. I like him.
Yeah, I like him later, and that's where I was like, and you obviously get it later on, especially in the Soul Stone scene. I was like trying not to do spoilers for a second there for no reason, but in the Soul Stone scene.
Yeah, you're good.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's 3 S's back and forth, back to back.
You get the big part of it, but it's like that one line you were kind of just like, she hates him.
Oh.
But he kind of doesn't know that, or just thinks it's like his child rebelling against him. It's like I felt like, wow, he actually does see himself as a father. They're not just his killing machines.
Well, see, and that's the thing that we were talking about. Well, Nebula is.
Yeah.
Gamora is not. And it's what we were talking about. He's a fucking madman. He believes what he's doing is right, and he doesn't understand that other people see him as a monster.
Yeah.
He doesn't know he's a piece of shit. He's truly insane. It's amazing, dude. No, because he had actual remorse, and she's just like, this isn't love. And he's crying and doing what he has to do.
Yeah, and I forget, he has a good line where he says like, he's like, I'm the only one who knows it. I forget, it was a play on words. He says something along the lines of like, you're the only one that something. He's like, I'm the only one who does know it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when she's just like, you're the only one who believes this, or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember. I know the line you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was really good. And I'm just kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dude, like I said, every scene between him and Gamora is amazing. You got a great deal of character development for him in this movie. And I was going to say, there's so many interesting stories that you just see the aftermath of, or you deal with really heavy exposition. And I feel like these after credit scenes that we've been watching for 10 years could have been utilized to give us little hints of his progress as he goes. So we see him as a growing threat.
Yeah.
And we became more familiar with him.
I guess
I think that would have been interesting.
Probably it didn't drag the movie down. It was actually quite interesting, but I think the biggest kind of like Canto Bight style fucking just break off from the fucking plot is the Peter Dinklage,
the big Peter Dinklage review,
yeah,
where he's the second reveal. He plays a dwarf that's a giant.
That's a giant. It's very strange.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I laughed out loud in the theater. Nobody else laughed, dude. It's like the Matt Damon reveal in Thor Ragnarok, where I appreciated the joke.
We Bought a Zoo.
It's Matt Damon from We Bought a Zoo. Nobody's laughing but me in the theater.
Yeah,
all right.
I didn't laugh. I just was like, oh, that's Peter Dinklage. I was like, shit.
Yeah, no, it made me laugh. Dude, this is like Peter Dinklage is a giant who's a dwarf. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it is funny.
Dude, and it's everything that they were talking about happening there. I would have liked to have seen.
Holy shit! Well, and that's
that was when,
and that's why I brought it up. That's right. That's why I brought it up, because you're like, let's see his progress, because they're like, he showed up and was like, make me a fucking gauntlet that can hold these, and I like that, because I'm just like, why does he just have a glove that like?
Yeah, where'd he get this glove?
Yeah,
in the comics, he made it himself.
In this, perfect. They're like, oh, where does Mew Where's Mew made?
Yeah.
No, he went there. I'm like, oh, that's dope.
Well, and then he talks about wiping out Xandar to get the Power Stone. We didn't get to see that.
No.
I would have liked to have seen that. And it's just, you didn't need to go overboard. I didn't need to see like a whole big story about it. Just give me the Thanos is walking through the burned out ruins of Xandar, or him and his people are, kind of like what we saw with the beginning with the Asgardians.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is I think they probably spitballed that idea because there could have been a good montage of him ravaging different places and you seeing his progress leading up to him on the ship, and creative decisions.
Yeah,
whether I don't know if I agree with it. I can't argue with what they did was effective.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, would I have liked to be like, why does he have a stone already? Or 2 stones?
He had 1 stone. He had the Power Stone at the beginning. And then he got the other one when he killed Loki. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then he got
the collector switch up was really good. I thought that was really good. Because I was like, oh, shit. It's still fine, and then you get that fucking wipe. And Benicio del Toro is just full bananas Benicio del Toro in that scene. He was great for not saying anything, really. Yeah. I thought he was really good.
Just laughing.
I didn't like the after credits scene in this because I don't care.
Yeah.
But I liked the fake out in the mid credits that happened, where they give you the logo and it does the dust off, and they do that pause that you always get before the scene, and then the credits just roll.
Yeah, just keeping the weight of the.
It was so funny, dude.
The sound at the end of it felt.
You get the song, and then it's just the dust blowing.
Well, and I'm talking about just at the end of the movie in general. There's not a lot of times in these movies where I talk about like a very good film language artistic choice.
Oh, you're talking about.
And the sound when after the snap happens.
Yeah.
Fucking the sound as people are going away, because
it's quiet.
It's this so weird, quiet. Somber, quiet, the world, it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Empty. You feel empty.
You feel empty and uncomfortable, and I was like, there's not a lot of times in these movies that I talk about like a weird film language, like stylistic, artistic choice. holy moly.
Yeah, no, dude, you could almost feel like
weird.
being out in the desert all by yourself.
Yeah.
Dude. It was so empty.
Yeah.
It was so empty.
Mixed
the
with
world
the visual
felt
of people
empty.
just going to dust.
And you don't like. I like that there's no real noise to the dust crumbling.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like,
yeah, no noise. There's no screams outside of.
Yeah, and then I love that you cut to Thanos getting his sunset.
Yeah,
on his planet,
and I assume he's recreating. And I love that somebody. This movie does almost everything right, which is crazy with how bloated and ridiculous I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, well, and it is kind of bloated and ridiculous.
It is,
but it's
and I've heard negative reviews of this, like this is like dangerous for cinema because everybody loves it, and it's like, how are you gonna like? This is
no, because
they could have made 100 films for the budget of this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And was this worth it?
See,
that's not for us to decide.
Well, and I was going to say, because you still get movies like Logan or Baby Driver, and you know the more
A Quiet Place, which
A Quiet Place.
I hope everybody enjoyed our review of.
We're going to give you a real one at some point.
We'll talk about it. It was good. I really don't know what else to say.
Or we'll be
at the time. I felt like I had something to say, but it's good. So
it's really good. You should watch it. I really love that movie.
But and
Krasinski knocks it out of the park.
I don't want to get wrapped up in that whole thing.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying.
But what I was going for when I said it did so much right and kind of did so much good shit for how bloated I thought it was gonna be. Fucking, they're like, he says their plan, and instead of like a quip or like this or that, and they go, and then what? And then he's just like, then I fucking can rest. Because my plan's done, and I will live in this world that I believe will be better. Because a lot of times you're like, so you killed everybody. How was that world you want to live in? He's like, no, just half of everybody's gone, so everybody has more, and I will lay back in wonder of what I created and relax, and maybe I'll find some other stupid girl to raise or something. Like, and that's what I wonder, if he's like less crazy now. Like, I'm just like,
no, I think he's still
it blew my mind that I'm like, oh my god, another villain that doesn't suck the worst.
And then he actually does it.
Yeah.
You watch him and he is content. Yeah. He's got that wry grit. It's not.
I feel like he pointed at himself, turned back time after this giant axe wound, and he's like, okay, now I'm good and chill.
He just sits down and kind of goes, what a day.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a hard day at work for him.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the thing that I love about him. None of this was going to stop him, and none of it was threatening. He never once thought he was going to lose.
And just like, you know what? Respect you, Stark. Half of humanity will still be there, and I hope they fucking learn about what you did here, because it was pretty dope. I mean, you didn't stop shit.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. I thought Tony was out.
Oh. Dude.
I thought Tony was going to... Because he starts off with the Vietnam guy plot where he's like, well, I'm getting married. She's pregnant. I only got 2 weeks left. You know?
After the opening Asgard ship thing, it's like cut to Tony and Pepper, and it's just like...
Who are on a jog in Central Park.
And it's just like, oh, you know, I had a dream and it came true, and I dreamed we were going to have a kid. And it's like, we're getting married and we're going to have a kid. And I was like...
No, they had gotten married.
No, because he talks about people being invited to his wedding.
Oh, that's right.
He's, I forget, one of the Guardians he says he'll invite.
Yeah.
Because they help him or something. So they're going to get married, and he's talking about having a kid, and I'm like, bye, dude. We're 5 minutes in, like, bye, dude. This is going to suck.
And then his fight was so desperate with Thanos towards the end there.
Giving everything he had.
And, like, Thanos just gets his fucking sword and stabs him with it. And he's so dismissive. He doesn't even care that he's killed this man. No. He's just like, I respect you.
Yeah.
And I hope they remember you.
Yeah.
And then he's going to kill him.
And it's a weird, like, psychotic thing, because it's like he recognizes that there's nobility in trying to stop him, but he also believes that his plan is the right thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah, he is Thanos is one of the greatest comic book villains for a reason. Like, he is a super great
I think everybody just didn't think they were going to pull it off. I
don't think people did. I was questioning it. I was wondering if they were going to go into how bananas he really is and everything. And
I didn't see them going, like, because it's not Guardians. And it's like, I should have, like, they did Thor. And I'm like, And Guardians 2, but Guardians 2 was a little subdued.
Yeah, and those are both a little more wacky space stuff. This man is a threat.
And I was like, how are they, they're on fucking Earth, but he's a space god. Like, how are they going to be? I don't know. I was not expecting this movie. This movie was just like, oh my God. Like, and they're doing the stupid Civil War thing where they're like telling where they're at. But like, since it's not Earth, I'm like, that's useful information.
Yeah, thank you. I need those.
I was blown away. I'm not gonna lie. I really, really like it.
Well, it's like I said. I have gripes, but they don't really matter in the long run. They're nothing big enough for me. I do wish that some characters had gotten better showing.
Yeah.
Because they're characters that I like, but I feel like there's something for everybody. Because like on top of Cap not getting enough time or Bucky not getting enough time, Quill got more than his due. More than I thought he would. Drax got way more than I thought he would. All the Guardians got way more than I thought they would. I was really glad that they did what they did with Gamora and Thanos. Because I was hoping that they were going to do father-daughter shit, and they did.
And I really like... and I know that you had a problem with it in the first Guardians, but I do like what they did with Quill and Gamora. Because it's like... I get it, they're a couple, but they're like feel kind of like a real couple.
Yeah, like
a movie
of
couple.
The romances that have taken place, theirs is kind of jokey and stupid in the first movie, and then in the second movie it felt a little more real, and then in this movie it felt like we were finally at the end of that arc, and it felt earned and legit. It felt like Pepper and Tony.
Yeah, and it was just like. It was like really heavy and overly dramatic of like I said you better kill me.
Yeah, you better kill
me. And he's thinking about it, and instead of it being, and it's like this wasn't.
Why didn't you go right?
This wasn't a joke. Like it didn't undercut the dramatic moment. It's just this weird like him trying to come like still fighting this realization where he's like. Well, I told you to go right.
Yeah.
Like he's just mad.
It's how Pete deals with that kind of shit, and it felt like Pete's character. Which like, why didn't you go right? I told you to go right, and he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Then you get the bubble gun.
Yeah, then you get the bubble gun, and you're like,
that's funny. I like him, and then he fucking beats the shit out of him. Yeah, dude, all of the space stuff is fantastic.
For
Thor coming into him being a super being. Finally, dude, we're getting to see the God of Thunder be the God of Thunder. And he's doing amazing feats, like getting shot with a star and coming out on top. It's...
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad you liked it as much as you did. Fucking when I'm like,
I had a shitty film viewing experience.
But when I'm like, Cap had his couple little things. I'm like, overall, it was kind of just like, and Cap's there.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. It's not like when I watched The Last Jedi for the first time, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on in Canto Bight? And this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And what the fuck is this serving? I understood what was happening and why it was important. Felt like it just wasn't done that great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't take away from the movie at all. It's just like, that could have been better, but it was still good.
Yeah.
It just could have been done better.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about Cap and everybody, where I'm just like, well, Cap's my favorite. And
that's kind of how I felt like you'd feel. And like with me, I love Thor, and holy shit.
The Thor delivers in spades.
Just goes fucking bananas.
Yeah, like I'm over Tony very much so. I'm ready for Iron Man to die. And I liked, like I said, I liked that they paired him with Strange.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get to be the cool guy.
No, but that's
all
what
the time.
That's what I was
and
talking.
Strange was just like, no, shut up.
That's what I'm talking about earlier, where I loved that it was like, this is happening, respond, and who you have with you is who you have with you, and then they were gone. Because Tony didn't have time to sit there and be like, I know what's going on, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be fucking Tony. Like, they were just like, motherfucker, we're just going to do this. It was great.
I loved the Mexican standoff. I'm going to kill a kid.
Yeah.
Like, kill a kid. Go ahead. I'll kill your guy.
Do it. I can handle it.
It's this huge cannon in his face.
I can take it.
And even Pete, both Petes are going, no, you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, dude, Drax was great.
Oh, dude. It's
no, and I love that. I love the reveal where it was like another human, and they were all kind of like, when they see Quill, and they're kind of like, what is happening?
What is going on here?
We're going to say Jesus?
Yeah, it's a team. We're the Avengers, a team of the greatest heroes on Earth. Yeah. Like Kevin Bacon. No, and I like that. Like from Footloose. Is that still the best movie ever? No,
it never was.
No, it never was. Don't listen to him.
It's great.
Oh my god. It's great, dude. Yeah, and I loved that Tony's team consisted of a kid and a man he didn't like.
Yeah.
Or understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Tony doesn't like what he can't understand, and he doesn't understand Strange.
Like I said, that was part of
the science and magic, and it was
part of
so
that thing
good.
People wanted from Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm. And I love that Thor just shows up, says he's a god. He's an Asgardian, and everybody's like, I know who he is.
No, and I love that too. They're just like,
they just
we're the Avengers, because then he's like, congratulations, you're an Avenger, and he's like, ooh, I plays the music. I think
I love that Pete introduces himself to the Cape.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's like, hi, I'm Spider-Man, and it just takes off. He's like, all right. Like he thinks the Cape is a person.
The Cape was dope too.
The Cape's always cool.
Fucking...
It's the rug from fucking Aladdin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so cool.
But yeah, no, I do love that they're like, we're the Avengers. And he's just like, oh, that's what Thor told us about. And they're like, fucking, you know Thor? And I was like, I'm like, this is hilarious right now. This whole just like, you know Thor? Oh, we heard about the Avengers. And I'm just like, they're in space.
It's like it's like a cosmic meet cute.
Oh, and I was talking about the graphics, right, that they did from Civil War.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how I liked them in this. Wasn't there one where it was just like space?
Yeah.
And it was
that was
really
the beginning.
Funny.
That was the beginning. Because you hear the song from the Guardian ship, and it just says space.
And I was like, that's hilarious.
And they're just sitting there singing. I think it's the Commodores. Oh my god. He's just all waving his finger around doing the Soul Brother thing. Is so funny, dude.
Groot. Yeah, I feel like a bullshit fucking gets made fun of YouTube channel right now, but
I do too.
I can't.
It's hard not to gush when it was a good movie.
I can't argue with it. We've given these movies a lot of shit. Okay?
Yeah, we've
earned this.
I didn't like Spider-Man: Homecoming, and we both kind of didn't like Black Panther very much, but did.
I said it was bad, and then I really liked it.
I said it was really. I said I didn't like it, and it was kind of good.
Yeah, man. So go check this out.
Definitely.
It's going to be a busy.
Go check this out for anyone who sat through all of our spoilers.
Yeah. It's gonna be a busy month. It's gonna be hard to top this one.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 should be fun, but
Deadpool 2 will be okay.
Solo.
I have a little more faith in Solo than I do Deadpool 2.
You need to stop reading the internet so much, I think.
You need to stop.
Because here's the thing.
Talking to me.
Because here's the thing.
All the time.
You've been I guess I'll bring this up. Throughout the whole movie, I was waiting for something to happen. Because you read stuff, and then it's not true. And then I don't know what to do with that. So, like, I would disregard what you've heard of Deadpool 2.
Yeah, well, that's not what I'm nervous because it's a comedy sequel.
To a comedy. Yeah, I get it.
Don't roll your fucking eyes at me.
No, it's not gonna be as good.
No.
But I told you my plan was to watch it, have a laugh or two, and then be like, eh.
So do you think that since now Disney owns Fox and we'll just roll with that hypothetical.
Yeah.
Is he still going to play Thanos and Cable?
Right? So confusing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Is Cable going to eat it? I don't know anything about Cable.
Cable shouldn't eat it.
Oh,
Is
okay.
he going
to turn good? Is he going to decide not to kill Ricky Baker?
He's not bad. He's by whatever means necessary. So he's bad, but he's not. He's an anti-hero.
Okay.
Classic. More so than Deadpool. Deadpool is a straight up villain.
Yeah.
Who's become an anti-hero in recent years. Cable is a good person who just will kill anybody that gets in the way.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but yeah, fucking busy. You'll get a lot of episodes from us because I'm looking forward to possibly like or possibly hate Solo.
I am intrigued by Solo. It looks like it's going to be a fun ride. I don't think that it needed to be a Han Solo movie.
I don't.
But I still want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anybody who goes, well, who the hell wanted this? I'm like, nobody.
Yeah.
But it's happening. So let's see what they do.
Let's give it a shot. I have a little more faith in it than I did in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
Here's the thing. When I heard about Rogue One, I was like, my mind is going to all these places of what they can do. They're free to do whatever. Oh, it has to tie in with other shit and have no characters in it. Shit. This one's like, we don't have to tie into shit. And it's characters but they might as well not
all we
be.
Gotta do.
But it's so old that they might as well not be, and we could have just made new characters, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Also, I just hope Chewie doesn't die on that train.
I know, dude. It looks like it's
Which, by the way, from what
I've
I've pieced together from all the stupid trailers and TV spots, that's at the beginning of the movie, and that's when the life death happens. But it doesn't make any sense. I think they ADR'd in for the trailer him saying Chewie, because he asked him what his name is later on the train. It's weird. I don't know. I do this. Here's the thing. I watched that first Infinity War trailer and I never watched anything for it again. I didn't watch it.
No. You and I watched the second.
The second. Sorry. The first and second. I saw the teaser.
Yeah.
First, second.
Because I told you I wasn't going to watch anymore, and you're like, well, let's at least check this out.
I didn't watch reviews, didn't look at Rotten Tomatoes score, I didn't fucking look at tweets, I didn't do shit.
I don't look at anything.
When it comes to Star Wars, I can't fucking help myself.
Yeah.
I look at all of it and I try to piece together the movie.
Dude, I do the same thing with the Marvel movies,
Yeah.
dude. I say I'm not going to look at anything, and then I end up looking at like screenshots and shit like that.
The thing is, though, is when my dumb theory I have in my mind doesn't come true, I don't freak out and say that the movie is garbage.
Well, yeah, because you're a human being. You're rational to a point.
Oh, I'm very irrational when it comes to Star Wars.
You're very irrational when it comes to Star Wars.
But, well, we've gone completely off topic, so I guess we'll wrap this bad boy up.
It's about time to call it.
Yeah, so you can find us on all major podcasting apps, including Stitcher, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play.
I thought you were going to say apple pie.
Apple Pie. We're also on YouTube. We are Mighty Fish Productions. We are at twitch.tv/Mighty Fish Productions. This is the Mighty Movie Pod. You can follow us on Twitter at Mighty Fish Pod. That's confusing. Follow us on Instagram, Friendster.
MySpace,
Lycos, Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Yeah, and that is about it.
Google Plus.
We will be back.
Skype.
We will be back, possibly with a real Quiet Place Super Troopers mix. If not, we'll be back for Deadpool 2 and
Solo.
Solo will be after that. But there's a lot of other movies that aren't just giant properties. So, and that's where we live.
I watched Logan Lucky
because we're movie fans. Shut up, Josh. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Ryan.
I'm still Josh.
And we will catch you